Assalamu alaikum. Hello, if you're watching this, my name is Fatima, and today I'm going to be talking about Joseph Awuah-Darko, also known as Okuntakinte. And the reason why I chose him as my case study for today is because of the circumstances surrounding his social media presence and how we as humans are susceptible to fall for any and everything we see on social media, especially if it touches or triggers our emotions. What triggered this particular conversation for me is because of a very recent development in this person's life and then comparing it with the precedents and history of his social media presence. If you don't know Joseph, he is a Ghanaian born man, born to a very rich, actually wealthy, influential family in Ghana, and he started recording and posting his journey on Instagram about pursuing assisted suicide in Netherlands for treatment-resistant bipolar disorder, which he suffers from. One day I was scrolling through Instagram Reels when I came across his post crying and talking about one of his depressive episodes and how he moved to the Netherlands solely to pursue euthanasia, that is the assisted self-deletion. I was immediately triggered and concerned because I'm an empath and I always put myself in people's shoes and position to try and understand where they are coming from, and also I know what depression feels like. So I started scrolling and reading all his posts, followed him and even emailed him. I was telling him I know it's not easy, he should hang on, try to say the positive about life. Like, I know what depression feels like, especially in a society like an African society where depression is not really valid and considered as something important no matter what a person is going through. Basically just motivating him, and he replied. Then I began over consuming his content and felt very concerned and touched until he posted a video, I think recorded in 2007 when he was in school and he was very young and was singing for then US President George Bush, and wrote like the caption that particular day was the day he made his first suicidal attempt. And I found that comment a bit dishonest and disingenuous because he said he felt suicidal because he was forced to sing for George Bush. And I know situations or circumstances like that, like they choose some of the privileged kids, and that is also a privilege for like the kid, because like they try to make you feel like you're special for doing this, for representing the school. So honestly, I found that comment disingenuous, but I brushed it aside. He was clearly very young in that video, and African schools, especially elite African schools, barely teach about Western president horrors. Like, you learn those stuff in government classes when you get to secondary school, and I don't think any school that would teach their young children about the atrocities committed by George Bush would even honor and entertain him in their school. And the fact that George Bush was in their school is a testament to how wealthy his family is. So that made me suspicious, honestly. And I went on Google and typed Okuntakinte and saw many articles and Twitter posts on how prior to his assisted suicide shenanigan on Instagram, he scammed his fellow Ghanaian artist of over $200,000. I was beyond flabbergasted, and when he gets reminded about settling this artist that he scammed, he would start posting about, being suicidal, that, he's gonna die, he's gonna commit suicide and whatnot, emotional blackmail. That is very selfish and very self-centered, because why is he not thinking about their own, mental health? And the scam could also push some of them to be suicidal like him. Then I searched further and discovered that he is an undocumented immigrant in the Netherlands, and because he's an asylum seeker, he is not a citizen, therefore impossible to pursue euthanasia. He never qualified for legal self-deletion to begin with in the country, but his audience doesn't even know. And that completely changed the trajectory of, the story he's trying to paint online on Instagram about himself. Then he started his Last Supper journey, and I feel like 1,000 of people messaged him about the Last Supper journey. Those that were interested in feeding him reached out to him, and they usually schedule a date where the supper will happen. Then the host cooks a delicious meal for him, and sometimes at his request they pay, or most times at his request they pay his transport to and fro. He's even been to Caesar's I think concert for free because she noticed him. So far he's been to almost 200 suppers. He's enjoying. And even Caesar, she invited him to her home for a supper. Therefore, platforming him, I don't know if she knows about his scam or not. That is not my business, honestly. Of course I want him to stay alive. Of course I want him to enjoy all this. But I can't help but think about the vulnerable followers he has gathered and amassed. Even if he doesn't know, or pretend to not know, pretend to be gullible, he has glamorized suicide, euthanasia, and successfully made it an aesthetic. He is influencing vulnerable mental health patients to just do it whilst not doing it himself, and going about enjoying hundreds of free meals and money. His platform is harmful, and the fact that it is insincere to an extent is very insulting to actual suicide attempters and patients. It's unfortunate, really. And it's also unfortunate that people who actually intend self-delete, people who actually intend, committing it, do not glamorize it and parade it. In fact, they're always very ashamed about it and, isolate themselves. It is always a shameful and an isolating experience for them. He doesn't have to die to prove his sincerity to people. Honestly, I don't want him to die, but he should stop glamorizing self-deletion whilst not doing it himself. He's not gonna do it, we know. His followers do not know, but OKUNTAKINTE has some interviews online about his music, Melanin Girls being the popular one. Look, when this song Melanin Girls became popular, he even put up a video competition challenge and said that the winner would receive some amount of money, and he refused to pay the winner. He refused to pay her. He's been on this scam team for quite a while, honestly. He also secured funding one time to make furniture for a student studying on the floor in Ghana, and he made a substandard trash for them. You need to see that piece of wood he made. He has, interviews, a lot of interviews, or at least quite a few interviews. I've watched some about his art and, art, something that he scammed people off on YouTube. It's more like he's been looking for opportunity to strike and make it big, in the entertainment industry. And this is what worked for him. He did the humanitarian, it didn't succeed. The entertainment, it didn't succeed. So the fact that this is succeeding, I don't think he's gonna leave this anytime soon. Honestly, he's not gonna do it. He has a long history of attempting to get famous. I am sure the artists he's scammed are looking at the thousands of people supporting his tomfoolery and shaking their heads. They have been asking to get paid, but he keeps pretending as if he's not seeing, the tags, the mentions, And when people talk about the fact that he is influential, he's influencing mental patients, especially impressionable teenagers, to suicide, he brings silly, misleading articles to say young people pursue legal assisted self-deleting, whilst conveniently ignoring the fact that majority of the young people being accepted actually have terminal illnesses like cancer. People deserve to know all this, especially his audience, which are majority vulnerable individuals who seek understanding. Amidst all this guy, some days ago, he posted on his Instagram that he's engaged, and a narcissistic caption on his story that says, no, sometimes I really do not believe that this is my life either, but that's a topic for others to thoroughly enjoy, to thoroughly entertain themselves with, close, quotation. And the others in this picture are people speaking about the fact that he scammed them. He is a full-blown, he's a narcissist, a full-blown narcissist. He is narcissistic. I quickly unfollowed him, honestly. And I truly hope all the young people looking up to him stop following him, because he is detrimental to their well-being and mental health. This is where I'll be stopping today, and I would love to hear your opinion on this. Thank you so much for watching. Assalamu alaikum.